Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series where we're working step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you if you visit my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available to download in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's an exam technique guide and it's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to best make use of the time when you're actually in the exam room on exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there for you. If you can give me a like, that'd be really great, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more to come. And so we're going to continue with grade 5 theory, and we're continuing with the subject of intervals. And so if you want to turn in your PDF document to section G, just find that. You'll find a summary of all the information that you'll need there to be referring to. And you may also find it helpful to have your circle of fifths. Make a list out of all of your scales, all of your key signatures, major and minor, and then that will be there easily for you to refer to. I would suggest you just have that to hand. And so if you turn with me now to page 29, we're going to have a look at exercise 3. And so we're looking at intervals, and we will be referring to the same material that we looked at in grade 4, how we can change these intervals chromatically. And then the only other thing that we're doing now in grade 5, which is new, is we're now adding the extension of an octave, so we can call it a compound interval. Alternatively, you can just count the degrees of the scale and extend beyond the octave. So that's really all that we're doing now. So we're just going to continue with that in exercise 3. And so I do suggest that you have a go of this on your own. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. The one important thing to always keep in mind is that no matter which way the interval falls, you always take the lowest note and count upwards and use this lowest note as your key note. The key signature doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to always be thinking in this key. It's just now that we have to remember to apply these sharps, but the lowest note is always your key note. So for example, on number 3, this interval here, our lowest note comes second, but we're counting from this lowest note, E, and so you're always counting E as your key note. And so we know that we've got a 1, 2, 3, fourth of some sort. Now E major or minor, the perfect fourth would be to A natural, and then we've chromatically increased that by raising the A natural by a semitone, and so we've gone from perfect to augmented, and so we have an augmented fourth. There we go. So number 4 here. So our lowest note is D sharp. Now it's quite a difficult interval to count if you're always counting from a sharp as your lower note. So let's just get the number first of all. 1, 3, 5, 7. So we know we're dealing with a seventh of some sort. Now, rather than thinking we're in D sharp major and D sharp minor, let's count from D. So from D to C sharp would be major. C sharps are in D major. However, we've cancelled the C sharp with this natural, so we've made that smaller. So what we've done, we've come from C sharp to C natural. We've made it smaller, so that's minor. And then the D is actually sharpened by an accidental. And so as we raise the lower note, we've made it smaller again. So we've gone from minor to diminished. And so we know now that this is diminished seventh. Let's have a look at this next one. So here we go. 1, 3, 5, 7. I've got a seventh again. And so we'll do the same here. We'll forget this E sharp for a moment. So if we take E as our key note, E to D sharp would be major. D sharp is part of E major scale. There is no D sharp here though. So E to D natural would be minor. So let's just look at that. E to D sharp would be major. There is no D sharp, and so we're on D natural, would be minor, part of the minor scale. And then actually the lowest note has been raised. So if we raise the lowest note a semitone, we've made it smaller again, and so yet again we have a diminished seventh. There we go. And so let's have a look at this last one here. So we know that we've got a 1, 2 of some sort, and again we won't include this accidental first of all. Let's just first of all consider from B to C sharp. So C sharp is part of B major scale. So B to C sharp would be major. However, we're going from B sharp to C sharp, and so we've raised the lower note, which has made the interval smaller, and so we've gone from major to minor, and so we know that that's a minor second. So you'll notice that I always count from the lowest note upwards, and if the lowest note's particularly complicated, dearie me, then I will ignore the sharp first of all, and then work out the interval incrementally, just working out the semitones as I go along. So perhaps have a go at the next exercise on your own. Just press pause and then you can come back into the video and we'll check those through together. So I'm hoping that you've had a little go of this yourself, and so let's have a go at this together now. So number 1 is going to be a 1, 2, a second of some sort. So we've got a C sharp to a D. If it is that you're not comfortable dealing with all these ledger lines, just work out the notes and just sketch in the letter names just to take that extra pressure of thinking away. So we've got a C sharp to a D. So we'll just remove that C sharp for the moment. So C natural to D natural, of course, is major. D is part of C major scale, and then because we've raised that lower note, we've gone from C to D, and then we need to add this sharp in. We've gone from major, making the interval smaller, and so now it's minor, and so we know that this is a minor second. And so here we've got from here to here. So we've got an F to a B flat. Don't forget that this key signature is in place, so that's a B flat. And so it's a 1, 3, 4th, a fourth, and F to B flat is a perfect fourth, and nothing else has been altered. So we've just got a plain old perfect fourth there, nice and easy. Because that's part of both the major and the minor scale, it's a perfect interval. Number 3, so here we've got from B flat, remember the key signature is still active, to C sharp. So we know we've got a 1, 2, a second of some sort, and then from B to C sharp would be major. C sharp is part of B major scale, but of course it's a B flat, so we've extended that interval by a low, let's just have a look there. So from B to C sharp is major, and then we've extended that lower interval because of the key signature to B flat, and so major made bigger is augmented, and so we know that that's an augmented second. So let's have a look at number 4. So let's count the interval first of all. 1, 3, 5, 6. So we have a sixth of some sort, and we've got an F to a D. D is part of F major scale, and therefore that's a major sixth. Nothing else has been changed there. Number 5, here we go. So we've got a 1, 3, 5, we have a fifth of some sort. Now from C to G, C natural to G natural would be perfect. However, from C natural to G natural is perfect, but that lower note is a C sharp, which has made the interval smaller, and so we've gone from perfect to diminished, and so that's a diminished fifth. There we go, and then the last one in this little section, we've got a 1, 2, 3, a third of some sort, and we've got an F to an A flat. F major would have A natural in it. F minor has A flat, so it's a semitone smaller. It's part of the minor scale. We've made the interval of the major third a semitone smaller. That's another way of thinking about it. Either way, we know that we've got a minor third. There we go. Let's have a go at the next section. So if you haven't done so already, do have a crack at these yourself, and I will have a look at them together. So here we go. We have a 1, 2, 3, fourth, a fourth of some sort. So G natural to C natural would be a perfect fourth. However, the key signature tells us that we've got a G sharp. Although the C natural cancels the key signature here on the C, the top note, this G sharp from the key signature is still active. So instead of being the perfect fourth, which is G to C, we've made the interval smaller by raising that bottom note. Just see there. And so we've gone from perfect to diminished, and so we've got a diminished fourth. And so the next interval we've got from an E to a G sharp because of the key signature. So that's a 1, 2, 3. We know it's a third of some sort, and G sharp is part of E major scale, and so we know that's a major third. Interval number 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 is a fourth of some sort, and so we've got a G natural. The natural is still active, cancelling out the key signature, so we've got G natural, and the C sharp is active in the key signature, and that accidental sort of reiterates that. So we've got from G to C sharp. We know that G to C is perfect, and then we've raised that interval at the top, and so we know that we've augmented that interval, and so we've got an augmented fourth. And then the last one in this little exercise is 1, 2, 3, fourth, and another fourth. Now we've got F as our bottom note to B. So F to B flat would be perfect, but however we've got from F natural, the key signature is cancelled, to B natural, so we've extended that perfect interval, so we've raised it, and so we have an augmented fourth again. And so let's have a last little crack through this last exercise here. And so now we've got, you can see at a glance, we've got some bigger octaves, and so it's just as simple to extend your octave jump and then refer to it as a compound interval. However, let's take things in order. So first of all, we've got a 1, 3, 5, 7th. We have a 7th of some sort here. Now C natural to B natural would be major. B natural is part of C major scale. However, it's not C natural, it's C sharp because of the key signature. And so instead of having a major 7th, we've made the interval smaller by raising that lower note. And so we know that we've got a minor 7th. There we go. And here we can see that we've got an interval which exceeds an octave. So let's just change this. So instead of being this lower A, I'm just going to jump up the octave, and so we'll just treat it as there, A sharp. So we have a 1, 3, 5. We know we have a fifth, a compound fifth of some sort. Now A to E is perfect. However, we've raised the lower note, which has made the interval smaller, so we know that that's diminished. And so we have a compound diminished fifth. However, if you prefer to, you can refer to that as a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12, a diminished 12th by all means. However, I find it easier to just refer to it as a compound, because there you don't know if you're on major, minor or perfect to begin with. You'd have to relearn all of those numbers. And then you'd have to work out that a 12th sort of equates to the fifth. Whereas if you just stick the compound word in, that does the thinking for you. So I prefer to think of it that way. Let's have a look at number 3. So here we have a 1, 2, a second of some sort. Now D to E would be major. So D to E, E is part of D major scale. However, because of the key signature, it's D sharp. And so we've made that interval smaller by raising the lower note. And so it's no longer a major, it's a minor second. Let's carry on. So again, we've got an interval which exceeds an octave. So I'm just going to jump that up to here. So we know now we've got a 1, 2, 3, a third, but a compound third. So then D to F sharp would be major, because F sharp is part of D major scale. However, the key signature tells us that it's D sharp, so we've made that smaller, and so it's a minor third, and so we have a compound minor third. Or alternatively, you could refer to that as a minor tenth. Either one of those will be an acceptable answer. Let's press on. Again, we've got a compound interval here, so I'm just going to jump the octave. So from instead of this B here, I'm going to jump it up to here. And then 1, 3, 5, we have a fifth. And B to F sharp is perfect, and so we know we've got a compound perfect fifth. Alternatively, you could refer to that as a perfect 12th. And then the last one, so we have again here just a regular interval that doesn't exceed an octave. So we have a 1, 2, 3, a third of some sort. Now we have a D sharp to an F sharp. The D sharp is put back after the key signature. It would be there already actually, but they've given us the sharp just to remind us. The F sharp is also there, part of the key signature. Now D to F sharp would be major. However, the key signature tells us the D sharp is also there, which has made the interval smaller, and so it's a minor third now. And that's that exercise complete. Well, I do hope that you're finding this beneficial. I hope that this is helping you. We've got one more exercise of this left in the next video. If you can give me a like, that would be really great. And please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. And please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all the information that's available to you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.